What's good, y'all? Welcome to my channel. This is Buddha AQ, and the AQ is for Aquarius because what a time it is to be alive, and because I'm an Aquarius and happy Aquarius season. This is going to be the Reflectors 2023 Outlook reading. I know that some time went by from, the other 3 readings that I put out, but I mean, hey, it's on point because isn't a reflector strategy to wait some time. So, but nah, I had some things going on that I had to do. Kind of once again, it's been weird because I don't really fall under the weather back to back, but that kind of happened again. So I don't know if you can hear me a little nasally, but I'm pretty good now. But yeah, so if you want to follow me on social media, my Instagram is at buddha.aq, Buddha AQ on Facebook. Also, if you want some dope crystal jewelry, I do wire wrapping, metal smithing. You can find me or my business at Eagle Vision Crystals, and that's Facebook and Instagram, same name. So, all right, let's get into this Reflectors 2023 Outlook. And we know that y'all are pretty rare, so which ones are out there watching this reading, I feel special because I know there's not many of y'all. Even though when I first started doing human design readings or chart readings for people, it was crazy. Like the first month that I started doing it, I came across like 3 reflectors. I was like, damn. And ever since that first month, I haven't met one. Okay, so let's see. We know all of your, centers are open centers. So let's see what is coming up for you in the head center. What are you going to need to do to kick off 2023 to make it go the way you want it to, the way you desire it to? All right, let's see. Okay. Dope. Well, you're getting over some stuff, and we know that, if any of this design types that, feel the most, it's definitely y'all, the most empathic, have all of those open centers. But yeah, so the head center, the crown center, dealing with, the thoughts, the ideas, the inspiration that's coming to you. And it's like, y'all hold a lot of responsibility, y'all hold a lot of responsibility, and there has been like a little bit of like difficulty or I want to say heartbreak, even though 3 of Swords usually deals with heartbreak, which now it's like you're realizing things are like coming together for you. You're getting your thoughts together and stuff on maybe some things that happened to you in a relationship, or just some difficulties around work or career, friendships, whatever it is, whatever that you were like, the responsibilities too much that you were like carrying or taking on, you're now coming to like a realization of what the lessons in that were, right? And you're able to like emotionally deal with that now. Whereas before, I'm just getting a feeling like if this card is here, the 3 of Swords in reverse, it was, putting a lot on you. You were taking on a lot. And so now, with this new year, let me move these up because I don't have a lot of room. But with this new year, it's starting to turn around for you. Okay, so we're moving on to the third eye, the ajna, the mind space. Oh, they're just popping out. This one came out second. This one came out first. Put one more for y'all. Let me bring this down a little bit so it's a little bit more in the camera. But yeah, you know, the way you're processing all of this stuff, because, you know, the third eye is about processing information, but the way you're processing all of these thoughts that you're coming to like realizations from, from, you know, what you've been taking on and dealing with, like, you're wising up, you know, like, y'all have the all those open centers, you know, every center is open, which, you know, yeah, it deals with, you know, being conditioned and influenced, but also, you know, when you become aware, which like the first row was saying, when you become aware and you have these realizations of like what was really happening, like you gain that wisdom, right? Through those open centers as well, you gain that wisdom. So you're wising up, you're really coming to like realizing what's really going on. You're probably like doing a lot of reflecting to heal, you know, whatever it is that you went through, whatever it is that you dealt with. Let me pull this last card. You know, and with this here, like you're not, you know, you're taking your time with it. You're taking your time to sit back and look at everything. Yeah, you're no longer like, you no longer, wait, I'm pushing this up and you probably can't see it. But, you know, you're no longer wanting to feel, you know, repressed or restricted or tied down to something, you know, tied down to whatever those like responsibilities or whatever it was that you were taking on too much of. Like, you no longer want to do that, right? Like, you're getting yourself, if you haven't gotten yourself out that situation, like you're moving forward to getting yourself out that situation. You're taking your time to process everything that happened, you know, and you know, we all have free will, but the more you come to realize that you don't need to be in situations that are, you know, holding you back and tying you down, you know, you start to, again, wisen up and move forward to getting out of those relationships, you know, getting out of those jobs, you know, also, you know, cutting the people out that don't, you know, give you what you deserve, treat you the way you should be treated, give you the respect that, you know, you should be given. All right, let's move on to the throat center. It deals with expression, manifestation. See what type of expressions you've been taking in, how you've been wanting to be heard. See, yeah. So I don't really have the camera face to where I can like see everything going on, but man, yeah, you know, I mean, hey, it looks like y'all probably done already started kicking off, you know, this new year with already kind of realizing what you need to do, because I mean, the way it's looking, it's like you already went through feeling defeated, you know. And like I said, like everything, every row that comes out, it's like there's a card that shows that you're just ready to like to just say, fuck it, I'm done, I'm moving forward, you know, whatever happens, it is what it is, right? You know, you want to like move on and experience new things. You want to experience abundance of what you deserve. You know, you want to learn yourself a little bit more, right? You want to learn yourself a little bit more. And sometimes that kind of requires like being a little bit cold, and not on purpose, but to those that deserve it. Sometimes you just gotta like cut people off. Sometimes you just gotta set those boundaries. It's healthy, especially as a reflector, right? Because y'all need the most space. Y'all take in the most energy. So, and like I said, every single row so far has showed at least one card that has come out showing that y'all are already on it. You're already tired of, dealing with the shit that you've been dealing with. Let's see. So, you're ready to express yourself, and set those boundaries and cut those people off and leave the jobs and shit that no longer, that you feel unfulfilled in. So let's move on to the self, which deals with identity, purpose, direction, love. Let's push this up. Yeah, so you're ready to move forward, but you really are kind of like evaluating like the past. You're evaluating the past to kind of like just do that shadow work that's required. You need to evaluate the past and just really look at the things. And I know we're coming out of Mercury retrograde, so again, maybe that's why these cards are coming out saying that you kind of already are on it, because it could have been during Mercury retrograde where you kind of like, if you know about retrogrades, it's the time to go within and like really look at a lot of things that you've been going through, and it's the time for shadow work. It's the time for self-growth and hermit mode and stuff like that. So that's probably why these cards are coming out showing that you are kind of already on it, because we just came out of that season, and so now you're like really able to like process everything that you've been reflecting on, right? So, and if you haven't, then you kind of need to just, like I said, look at the past, right? You need to look at the past and just do the work. Do the work. And once you do that work, once you process everything that's happened to you, if it's a relationship, and just accept what was, and kind of like move, like, no matter how good or bad it was, just kind of like accept what was. You don't have to forgive anybody like out in the open, face to face, or anything like that. Do it within yourself and move forward. Like, release that so that you can move forward, because you need to be able to if you want to get to where you want to be in life, in another relationship that's more healthy, or in another job that's more successful, or having your own successful business, or just being around people that celebrate you a little bit more, like they're excited to be around you. They give you the respect you need. You need to like really evaluate everything that happens, so that you're not just like pushing it away, because if you think about a shadow, it's going to always follow you regardless. So I mean, it's best to look at that shadow and examine it, acknowledge it, see everything that happened, and release and move forward. Move these up, because if not, you're just going to keep repeating patterns. You're just going to keep repeating patterns. Look, and then it was this one was 6, 7, 8. And starting off with the 8. The 8 is always the test. The 8 is always the test. Saturn rules, or 8 represents the number Saturn, and Saturn like will really test you. If you think about an 8, like it's really like it's the loop, you know, it's the loop, and it looks like the infinity symbol, right? And infinity symbol is kind of represents um just I'm getting in my head that picture of, you know, the baby being born through the angel, and it's growing up, becoming a kid, you know, an adult, coming back around as, you know, getting older and older and older and older, and then it goes through death, and it's just a, you know, it's just a cycle of life and death, like reincarnation and stuff like that. So it's about cycles. It's about, did you get the lesson in that cycle? If not, you're going to keep on getting those cycles coming to you, those different repeating type of situations. Like, yeah, maybe different job, different place, different person, but there's gonna be something until until it clicks and you can see like, yo, hold up, pause. All of this has been happening. Like, it seems a little different each time, but like I can see there's a pattern here, right? Until you stop and look at yourself and see everything for what it was, and process like how that has affected you to where you can accept it and accept like how you were in those situations. You know, you're not going to move forward. But the minute you do, you're going to always see growth, because you're going to realize it, right? You're going to gain that wisdom. All right, let's see. Let's move on to the heart, which is willpower, you know, your ego, your desires. So yeah, you do have, you know, you have every center open. So, you know, you may have been being in whatever situation it is, again, you know, whether that's relationship, job, family, friends, whatever, like this is something that like you weren't able to really handle, in a sense. Like you weren't able, like it was just very unbalanced, you know. It was very unbalanced, and you didn't have the feeling of, or the confidence, you know, the ego being, you know, also, yeah, ego can be negative, but it's also your confidence as well, right? You weren't, because you're a reflector, and you pick up the energy of others. Like, you were around people that like did not give you the feeling of being able to manifest the type of things that you wanted to bring into your life, you know, because everything was off balance. And anytime you're around people like that, especially when you have all those open centers, like you're not, you know, you're not taking in good energy. You're just not, you know, like these people were not giving you the messages, you know, they were not communicating with you or giving you the vibes or whatever it is, however you want to look at it. They were not giving you what you needed. They weren't supporting you in a way that you needed to be supported. That, you know, you weren't being told or hearing the things that were going to motivate you to be at your best. So they kind of like, you know, stunted your growth. Let's see, let's move on to the emotions. The emotional center, the solar plexus. Let's see what emotions, how this affects you emotionally, or how you need to process these things emotionally to get to where you want to be this year. All right. Oh, shit. Oh yeah, like so emotionally you want it all, right? You want that emotional fulfillment. Did I say that right? Yeah, you know, you want it all. You want to feel good, like because you've been around people that have not been giving you that emotional fulfillment for quite some time. You know, like you didn't feel like comfortable with it. It was just not a feeling of comfort where you were at, or who you were with. You know, you're ready to be around people that's gonna like support you and just give you what you need emotionally, because they like they weren't doing that, you know. They weren't doing that. This was, you know, somebody that or some place that just didn't give a shit, like, you know. They weren't committed to you, or the job wasn't committed to you, or the job didn't make you feel like you were worthy enough, or not worthy enough, but they didn't make you feel like valued, and you knew, you know the type of worker you are, or you know the type of person you are in a relationship, or the type of friend you are, and whoever or whatever this was, like, just wasn't giving you that feeling of value. And so emotionally, that you know, you take on every center for you is open, so emotionally you can take that on and just totally feel like you just aren't worth anything, and that's totally not the truth. So let's move on to the sacral. It deals with responsibilities, your creativity, your life force. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to, if you want growth, if you want to move forward and you want to grow, then you really need to like make sure that, because trust me, there will be, I'm pretty sure, because if you're just now, or if you have just recently realized everything that you've been through, and you know the cycles that you've been going through, you need to make sure that when you get tested again, because the universe is going to test you again, don't think that, oh, just because I realized that this is all of these lessons I've been going through, even in different places, different jobs, different friends, different relationships. Like, don't think the universe isn't going to test you again. It's definitely going to test you again, right? And you can't walk away from it. You cannot walk away from it. You need to look at everything going on. Be very attentive. You know, use that wisdom that you're coming into, to where you're not falling into another cycle, because it might look a little different with whatever the situation is. It might look a little bit different, but trust me, if you want to grow, you really need to like stay on it. Remember the feelings that you were in and that you no longer want to feel anymore, to where when something comes up for you, you know, you basically like, nah, I'm good. When something comes up for you that seems a little bit too familiar, and brings you to a place that didn't make you feel good, or brings it or triggers some like memories of, you know, the situations that you were in, that you may have recently gotten out of, or that you're trying to get out of, or you know, working on getting out of, like, cut it short. You know, don't go forward, don't entertain it, just cut it short. You know, stay on top of moving forward, you know. All right, let's look at the spleen, which deals with your instincts, your intuition, keeping you safe. keeping you from being inconvenienced, going through another cycle, repeating another cycle instead of going into a brand new one. Okay. Okay, let's see. So when it comes to like your instincts and your intuition, you're kind of like not really, I mean, even though everything does come outside of, from outside of yourself, because you have all of those open centers, like you're not really trying to look at anything new right now. You're not really trying to look at anything new right now, which I kind of like don't blame you. Like, it's like I said, it's not really the time for that. You like, before you can even start to like work on something new, or get into something new, like you really have to like, work on how the past has affected you. You don't want to take on anything new. Your spleen is kind of keeping you from that, while that can kind of be not so good. It's just right now it's not the time to like really open up to new things until you've really processed, what you've recently been through, or until you like finish working on what you're currently going through, and getting out of all the things that you want to get out of, and release all the things that you want to release. You need to really like look at that. Now, don't let that, don't let these situations that you've been through or that you're going through right now, like once you're fully, once you've fully processed everything, and you've, gotten out of it, don't let the spleen, which deals with a lot of fear, it's fear driven, the spleen, don't let that spleen, prevent you from now going on to new and bigger and better things, right? You don't want that. So while while you need to kind of like sit with yourself now, there will be a time, once because you haven't mastered you haven't mastered the cycles you've been through yet, to move on to a new cycle. So once you've mastered those, then it's time to move on to a new cycle. But don't let the fear from the spleen, don't let the fear from the spleen stifle you from moving forward. All right, and let's look at the root. What's going to drive you? What's going to drive you? Give you that drive to move forward. Once you've kind of like processed everything, or what's going to drive you to process, give you that drive to like process everything. If you currently feel like you're still in a situation and you don't really know what to do, I mean, the cards kind of told you what you need to do. Like, you need to take that time and really look at the details. Look at every little detail. See how it affected you. See how it influenced you. See how it conditioned you. And learn from it. But let's see. Okay. Yeah, so not being, not really being too, how can I put this? Like, not really like being too delusional in a sense, right? Like, don't take on anything that's coming your way just to latch on to moving forward, right? Like, connect with yourself. I know this is a two of cups, and that's kind of like on a lower scale. It's kind of similar to like the Lover's card, but But no, like, you need to connect with yourself. That's what I'm getting from this. Like, become one with yourself, right? Really connect with yourself. And once you do that, you no longer have to like wait. So what's going to drive you to move forward is, again, not taking on any, don't just take on anything like just because it looks good, right? Like, be realistic. Be realistic. Focus on one thing only, and that's just like getting healing from what you've just been through, or healing what you're kind of currently trying to get out of. And the way you do that, the drive that you'll get from connecting with yourself will then say, okay, now you've took that time, you've been patient with yourself. Now it's time to go. Now it's time to go. Go ahead, move forward, get that emotional fulfillment from what you like, being in the situations that you know that you deserve to be in, right? So yeah, if you haven't started, or if you're in the middle of it, I from what I'm seeing in the reading, I think a lot of y'all took that Mercury retrograde to like really process what was going on, or it forced you to process what was going on, why you've been feeling like, just held back, hurt, just, like you just can't move forward. If you've already gotten into that process, then this time of really healing yourself is gonna like really allow you to like have a really good year this year. And if you didn't start that process already, like, now is really the time to start. We just got out of Mercury retrograde. Whatever you like, whatever came up for you, whatever realizations you've had, really start to process those, so that you can finally move forward and have, like, even if it takes you a good month or two to really get through some things, or even if it's a little bit longer, at least I would like to say, at least try to make the second half of the year, the type of year that you wanted it to be, so that as we go into 2024, like, then you're already set up for, success and fulfillment, and just everything that you want, right? Everything that you desire. So, yeah, this is the Reflectors reading. Let me know in the comments how it resonated for you. Again, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm at buddha.aq on Instagram, and it's just buddha.aq on Facebook. And if you want any dope crystal jewelry, I do wire wrapping, metal smithing, where I'm soldering things together and setting stones into the silver, into the copper. If you want any of that, check me out on Instagram at Eagle Vision Crystals, and same name on Facebook. But until the next reflector reading, peace.